I'm Tim Jenks. In order to tell about how I got into the internship, I'm going to go back a little bit in history. I'll go way back to when I was a teenager. I started struggling with same-sex attraction, and it just went on. I became a Christian when I was in my early 20s and thought, oh, okay, finally, okay, the Lord will help me through it. Well, it didn't change. And I struggled for many, many years. Finally, a number of years ago, I really felt the Spirit of God coming to me and saying, it is time, you have got to change this. It's gone on too long, it's time to break away and do that. Well, I realized that I had to go talk to some pastors at church, and I called some dear friends of mine and asked them to pray for me, and of course they did. And so I went and talked to these two men, and not knowing any idea how they'd react, but they're absolutely wonderful. They were encouraging, and I would say understanding, but they didn't understand because they'd never been faced with that sort of thing before, but they were very helpful. And one of them had heard about this organization called Mid-Valley Fellowship. So I called, and we came in and we talked with Dwan, and decided that this was about this late spring, about the time the programs were ending. So it was going to be till the next fall, but I waited the summer and decided to come to Taking Back Ground, which was different for me, but a very good experience, and I learned a lot about myself and things. Well, after that ended, I thought, okay, I'm ready to go out and take on the world. But then I thought, well, maybe a little more help would be good. So I decided to that next fall go into the internship, and of course then I just got that much deeper into things about myself and about what I was dealing with. There are many benefits. We studied many books. We had Jennifer talked about the Long Haul Project. It was challenging. There were a lot of things. Some of the most challenging things for me were having to mentor with Jennifer and Dwan, because they'd ask you these pointed questions that I didn't want to answer. So that was always good. One of the things that Jennifer said to me during the course of the internship, this just still stands out to me even today. She said, after observing me for a while, she said, well, you really struggle telling people about your struggle, don't you? Well, you're darn right I do. Terrified of it. I don't want to talk about it. So then she said, well, when you do, how many times have people rejected you or given you a bad time about it? And I said, well, never. So that made me really think about how important it is to let people know what's going on in my life, and people have been so supportive. In fact, when I ended the internship, right about the time I ended, I shared my testimony with my whole church, which was not an easy thing to do. But many MVF people were there and praying for me and supporting me encouraging me that I did that day, and it's turned out to be very beneficial in my church relationships. So, take away, it's finishing the internship is thinking, well, okay, I have all the answers now, but of course, as we all know, the Lord doesn't work that way. We are in constant learning. In fact, just today, I felt the Lord telling me there's some changes you need to make in your life. And so I said, really? I thought I've made a lot, but apparently there are a few more coming. But the things I've learned help me agree with the Lord that there are changes, and it will be for the best and my best to do that. I'm not involved in the ministry right now, but I'm still working on where my next goals should be, but it'll come.